Okay. I really hope it's centered correctly. So the reason why I'm like flipping over my phone instead of like, having it like facing me is that there's a huge crack like in the middle of that screen. So like it creates like this weird distortion over the lens. Like a lot of like those strange, I feel a lot better. I've done this video like 3 or 4 times now, and each time I did it, it was with this camera, and it's the only camera that I have as of now, but I wanted to speak to you. I wanted to like show you who I am. I guess I'm not that unknown anymore. Man. But I still am. Like, I think I've always sort of wanted recognition my entire life, so like, now he's on camera. So that's gonna sort of change things, right? Where you get like this sort of recognition for being an awkward doofus. Not to be too self-deprecating, but it's just the truth. It is. I started this channel because I want to express myself. I want to find ways of putting myself out there, and because I've always sort of struggled with expressing myself, and like for whatever reason, like maybe it's because I was interrupted a lot, or I don't really talk that often, so I'm soft-spoken, and maybe because not all the things that I express make sense, to people when they first hear it. I know for a fact that I have a fear of being censored or interrupted or corrected, or like if it's not exactly right, then you best believe, like the people that I grew up around would say no. But honestly, like I don't blame them for that, because it instilled in me this desire to want to do things right, to want to do things according to the way that they should be. Now, one thing that I've always sort of like struggled with is doing that and making sense, expressing and making sense. And maybe it's because I haven't had too much practice in fully unloading and giving myself to something. Just taking deep breaths, just acknowledging that this is no different than being in my own mind. I should trust the process and trust that something will occur that will make sense. So I've held back on coming back to this channel for a while, and those of you that stuck with me, know that I did shitty read-throughs of Edgar Allan Poe and Jeff the Killer, all the like creepypasta stuff, like that we enjoyed when we were 12 or 14 years old. Like I thought that I could be the next Mr. Creepypasta, or like whatever, insert, dark, like story reader recorder, I was gonna say, either or, like 2 R's, reader recorder. I was gonna be that guy, and one thing that stopped me was how much work I had to put into it. Like I didn't have a fully developed prefrontal cortex, and I'm trying to get to that place where I feel comfortable, like with my art. I feel comfortable with those instincts that I've been brought up with, like which seem counterintuitive to expressing yourself, and I want to be able to balance those two good instincts. That desire to get things right cannot conflict, cannot like restrict the freedom that must exist in order to be able to get what's in here out there. just like that. That's all I need to do. That's all that needs to occur in my mind, is I need to accept this is just me chilling. This is just me in a space where you guys, you wonderful people that are watching, that are listening, that are giving your time to this, that I can trust you, that I can give you like the creation of myself. I believe we're all creative, and I'm fascinated, absolutely fascinated by how people do it, and why they do it, because everybody's different, and the qualifying things for being different sort of give you this strange sort of like mystique and like charm. And I know that I'm experimenting with what that is, and I want to be able to get on that level where I'm confident and I'm moving through these sort of like videos with a sense of purpose and a sense of, I want to do this. This is what I'm saying. This is what matters. I don't know why I'm saying like that, but it feels emphatic. Fuck. Yeah. You know, like, my nervousness is coming back. I don't know if you guys notice. I see the way that I'm presenting in my head, like I'm imagining like the impressions that I'm probably giving to people, and I'm wanting to like make it a positive expression. So like there's like this other part of me that's self-explaining everything and getting into it because I think that it needs to be relevant in order to explain why I'm right, why I'm pushing towards being right or correct, which is kind of fucking up like my sense of confidence in communicating what I am communicating, what I'm trying to communicate. I am grateful. I'm grateful to be alive, to be able to reflect on my life, and to be here, like, talking and expressing who I am, whatever that is. Because I think the other thing about creating ourselves is we get to ask, who am I? And who do I want to be? And I want to be somebody who isn't afraid of doing this, that isn't afraid of expressing their being. You know, as much as like it's a strength to be aware of what's right or what's correct or what's like the smart, logical, reasonable thing to do, I think it's also relevant to know when to cool down and slow down, to give pace to like what you're trying to do in terms of who you are. So you know me now, at least a little bit. You've got at least like as much as that I understand, and I think I like that. Nice to meet you. I'm gonna flip it around now.